STEM school where young teachers teach younger kids. My name is Desai,
And my name is Gyan Ghoda.
and we're part of Team AIRO. Our business provides a complete STEM learning experience. STEM stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math. So what we do is we prepare courses and curriculum for various STEM-related subjects such as programming, robotics, and mathematics. We teach these courses and curriculum as classes and workshops, which can be on-site and live online. What's the difference between live online and online? Online is when a company like lynda.com posts their material as a text or video, and you either read the text or watch the video to learn. Live online, which is what we use, it is when we live stream our classes, and it's more interactive and it creates a sort of virtual classroom. For example, a student can ask me a question, or I can see all the students' screens while I'm teaching. We can also teach classes collaboratively with organizations like Jersey STEM or maybe the YMCA. And of course, we can also teach our classes individually. We also coach and mentor teams for various STEM-related activities. For example, the first LEGO League robotics competitions, the American Math Competition, and the Science Olympiad. So, why are we doing this business and not any other business? Well, there are two things we want to change about the whole STEM teaching business. One of them is that the costs are very high and we are keeping the costs low. The second thing is that the teaching method is boring and we are keeping our classes fun. Let me tell you a story of how this all started. Me and some friends wanted to take some programming classes, but we found that they were very, very expensive. We thought not everybody can afford these classes. We also knew some of our friends, the only reason they weren't doing these classes were because they couldn't afford them. So I thought, why can't there be a STEM class at a reasonable cost? So I started researching how to keep the cost reasonable. I learned that most of the cost comes from hiring teachers. Now, we already knew some of this stuff, and we could teach some of this, and I knew that young teachers were more inexpensive, so we decided to create a model where young teachers teach younger kids. And now, about motivation, I used to have a friend who loved math, but after a few math classes at school, on his Go Math book, he would write Go Away Math. And this was funny, but it also showed how frustrated he was, and rightly so. We were all frustrated. You see, in our math class, the teacher would go up, write something on the board, and then leave. This was boring, and we wanted to change that. These two reasons, cost and motivation, were what made us create our business. So we have a few competitive advantages that make us better than our competitors. One of them is our workshops-based teaching model. We already talked about it a little, but not many other businesses have fun workshops, and fun workshops keeps kids engaged and makes them motivated to come again. Another one of our advantages is live online teaching, and this is a unique trait just to us. No other business does live online teaching, and the benefits to these are we can keep the costs lower because we don't have to rent a room. Also, it lets us have a global reach. We can teach anyone from anywhere in the world, and it lets us keep interaction alive in online classes. Another advantage we have is that we we are very specialized in STEM to young students, and we are very focused. This means that we teach nothing other than STEM and to no one other than young students. Unlike other businesses, which spread their resources across, this lets us pay undivided attention to STEM for young students, making our quality higher, and it also lets us invest all our resources into just that. We also know exactly who our target audience is instead of trying to market to many different people. We also teach kids using their language. This is because we have the young teachers teach younger kids model. Young teachers understand how the kids think, and so they can speak in a way that they understand. No other business has this trait because no other business has the young teachers teach younger kids model. And the advantages to this are that students can understand what they're saying and they're more engaged when they're being taught in a way that they understand. Finally, we have high quality and a low cost, and we have already explained how we keep the costs low. These advantages make us better than other businesses and make us fairly certain that we're going to succeed. Let's talk about our audience. So we mostly sell to students and parents. We can also collaborate with other businesses and nonprofits, for example, Jersey STEM or the YMCA. We also coach and mentor competitive teams for STEM-related areas, like for say a robotics competition. Now let's talk about location. For our on-site classes, we mostly stay in central New Jersey. With our online classes, though, we can have a global reach. In fact, if inquiries coming from the UK, India, California, and southern Jersey. Now, all businesses market to their customers, and we do that too. And Jan will explain this more in detail.
So, we use a variety of tools to market our business, one of which is social media. For example, right now we have a YouTube page, Facebook page, LinkedIn page, and etc. We also hand out brochures at public gatherings. For example, last Saltbrook Science Fair, we handed out flyers for our business to attract customers. We also spread our business through word of mouth, where impressed parents or impressed students can talk about our classes, and other people can say, "This looks really cool, I want to try it too," and they can come to our business. And we also market our business through our partnerships. Like right now, we're partnered with Jersey STEM, and they wrote an article about us. Now, every business has a financing side of things, and my colleague Ohm will tell you more about that.
So we have a very flexible pricing model, and it uses a price chart like you see up here. And note that there are many different categories. For example, if we taught Scratch programming versus we taught JavaScript programming, there would be a different cost. If we collaborated with a business versus we talked directly to the customer, there would be a different cost. If we rented a room versus teaching it online, there would be a different cost. Our course fees are mostly based on profitability, meaning we base our fees on how much profit we're making. This is why we have to cost higher if we're renting a room. We need to make up for the cost of renting a room somehow. This is also why we have no class if the minimum amount of students don't come, so we don't incur any losses. This is our break-even analysis, and this is how we know we're making a profit. So we plugged all our numbers into a template made by Harvard Business School, and as you can see from break-even volume right here, we have 6 classes until we can reach the break-even point and start making a profit. We've already taught 5 classes, so we're getting really close to starting to make a profit. This is a graphical representation of what we just saw, and this basically shows that we need 1 more class to reach the break-even point, and we're anticipating to do that class in January 2017. So we're also very close time-wise to reaching a profit. Now, currently we have a business, but we also want to grow, and we have a lot of growth ideas, so Gyan will explain them more in detail.
So, we have many ideas, and we have a clear vision of our multidimensional growth plan. One key point of our growth plan is that we want to increase our course offerings so that we can teach more courses or lend them to other businesses. We also want to scale out our young teachers force so we can have more teachers to teach the courses or lend to other businesses. We want to stay local, but we want to grow global. We're going to grow global through our virtual classroom online platform with our live online teaching. We also want to implement our franchisee model so that other people can start their own businesses like ours and we can grow. So let me show you a transition between where we are right now and where we hope to be in 2009 and where we want to be in 2019. So right now we have limited course offerings. We have 2 courses that are fully prepared, but we have 3 courses that are right now under construction. We also are starting our online offerings in January 2017. And right now we have a young teachers force, a limited young teachers force. We only have 3 core team members, and we have 2 extended team members, which are 2 high school girls that we're training for our business. So this is how we're going to achieve our growth plan. One thing that we need to do is you want to implement our franchisee model so people can start their own businesses like ours. And we want to implement a virtual classroom so that other people that cannot reach our on-site classes can still learn through our live online teaching. We also want to scale out our own teachers force, so because as I said, we want to have more teachers to teach our courses, and we want to lend them to other businesses. 2 things we'll need because we are growing is a content factory, which is basically us pumping up courses to teach or to sell. And we also need an advisory board, which is made of experienced professionals that are experienced in the areas of marketing, legal, and finance. We also need business partnerships so we can extend our reach. Maybe even the YMCA could collaborate with us. So, we have a clear vision. We know the general direction that we want to grow, but we don't know how we're going to do this. That's where we need your help. We're not only asking for funding. We're proposing a true partnership where you not only give us capital funding, but you also give us support in areas such as marketing and legal. So to end this with, let me show you a promotional video made by kids from our class from Jersey STEM.
My name is Desai Gyan Ghoda. I'm in 2nd grade. I attended Scratch programming class at Jersey STEM, and I liked Scratch programming because it was taught by kids. And at the end, I made a really cool story using Scratch programming. My name is Lydia. I am in 2nd grade. I'm going to talk about Scratch. I love Scratch. I especially like Scratch making slogans about myself. I like seasonal kind of slogans and holiday kind of slogans. Thank you. My name is Sarah.
originally a video. What you were hearing is the voice of the video.
Right, that's fine.
The animation of the video can be viewed on our YouTube channel.
Okay.
So now it's time for a question and answer session. Do you have any questions?
Yeah, and in terms of finding new teachers, I mean, you guys look really good at this. So how many of the students you've been working with, you think, or where are you going to get new teachers to expand it? So you're finding that you have students of your own that you think can become teachers like you, or are there other friends that you have that are as sophisticated as you become teachers?
Well, right now we're thinking that right now we're training 2 high school girls to become teachers, and the students that we're teaching, we're also hoping that once they learn this and they get motivated by it, they will think, wow, this is really cool, and they'll want to teach too, so they can help other kids.
First of all, great presentation. Really well detailed. I can tell you put a lot of time and effort into this. I got 2 questions. Number 1, for the classes, why do you need a 10-student minimum?
Okay, we need a 10-student minimum, mostly because if you need to cover the cost of doing the class. So if we have like 2 students per se, and we need to keep the price constant and low, then we won't be able to cover the cost of teaching the class, and we'll lose money.
Can you walk us through what your costs are?
Okay. So this is on. Okay. So this is also on one of the slides, and as you can see from here, we have marketing fees, which you can see up there. We also have to pay the teachers if we're using any members of the extended team.
And do you have a rate of what you're going to pay the teachers?
It's up there. Basically, the total teaching fees right now are around $100.
$100 a class, $100 an hour,
$100 per class.
which is 1 hour. Is it? I don't know.
Per course, sorry.
$100 per course.
Yes.
And the course is how many hours?
The course is 8 hours total.
8 hours. $100, and again, these are kids that are teaching.
Yes.
So this would be, as you said, most likely not anybody older than a high school student.
Yes.
And I don't know how much experience you so far have, but how many students who have taken one of your classes have said, gee, this is really great, I really like this, I want to take another one? Or have you had any experience where their parents say, gee, could I take that class, and I want to take another one after I finish that one?
We actually have, like,
Uh-huh.
we've had many classes where students have come again.
Uh-huh. That's great.
Like most of the students you saw in that video, they came again for another class.
Uh-huh.
So what you're saying is your cost essentially to run a class minus the marketing is about $100 because there are no other costs associated with it, and you're gonna have a minimum of 10 kids in the class, so your each class that you have over and above that covers the cost, your base costs, you're gonna make $150. Is that right? Or is there other
A little
costs?
less.
that are not-
There's a few other costs. For example, if we're teaching an online class, we need to pay for the online tools we're using. And we also have a price for developing a course, because developing a course takes time and effort.
Do you have a teacher advisor who's checking over the content of what you're teaching, or are you two overseeing the content?
We two are currently overseeing all the content.
Judges,
But-
one more question, and then we have to move on. If you have any more
When you teach an online class, how many students at one time can you teach in one online class? Can you scale it up to, I don't know how big the scale is that you can do.
We haven't actually started our online classes, as Deanna said. We're starting them in January 2017. And we still don't know how many students we'll take and we're still deciding on that.
Great job, guys.
Thank you very much.